Don't you ever play miniatures games!
So Wizards of the Coast updated OGL has the D&D community in an absolute chaotic uproar. Whether you're canceling your D&D Beyond subscription or just tired of the drama, maybe now is a better time than ever to take the leap and play miniatures games. That's right, D&D friends. I think I speak for all of us here at Miniatures Games when I say, come play with us instead. In this video, we ask, are you the type of TTRPG player who would enjoy playing miniatures games? And if you're interested, how do you start? Welcome to Corner Case, the channel for wargamers by wargamers, and you are in the hobby corner with me, your host, your level 3 bard, and your best friend, Deck. So, you're a tabletop RPG player and you're thinking about getting into taking the leap into miniatures games. Maybe you've seen us before at your local game store. Maybe you've even seen some of the miniatures. Maybe you were shopping around for miniatures for your D&D game. Some of you may not know too much about miniatures games right now, and that's totally understandable. I played Magic most of my life, and I spent a good portion of my life so far playing tabletop RPGs, but neither of those things directly led me to miniatures games, so it's not an obvious connection. But regardless of your current awareness, are miniatures games right for you? Before that, a quick word from our sponsors. I'd like to extend a big Corner Case thank you to all of our supporters on Patreon. You are what make this channel possible. And an extended thank you to everyone who supports the channel in non-monetary ways. Building community is absolutely the best part of the hobby. Back to the show. So what are miniatures games? Miniatures games are very often 1v1 tactical combat games. They simulate either small skirmishes to gigantic epic battles. If you want the philosophical discussion, we've made a video about that, link below. Some examples include Warhammer 40,000, Street Name 40K, Infinity the Game, Malifaux, Star Wars Legion, or Lord of the Rings Fantasy Battle. Are you the type of player who enjoys the tactical combat part of D&D? Do you enjoy gaming the action economy? Do you enjoy using character feats and rolling big damage? Do you enjoy painting and playing with miniatures? Do you enjoy playing on a battle grid? Do you like the narrative moments that come from a fun round of combat? Do you like Pathfinder or D&D 4e or 3.5e? Well, this is basically what miniatures games are, so if you like a number of those things, miniatures games might be right for you. We can also go about this a different way. Are miniatures games not for you? Maybe you're the type of player who prefers a rules light, narrative and role play heavy tabletop RPG experience. At this point, you might be thinking,
well, Deck, it sounds to me like the person you're describing is somebody who likes a crunchy tactical experience, but I really like the role play and the theater of the mind, so maybe miniatures games aren't for me.
To which I'd respond, maybe still try it. Personally, I love myself a narrative tabletop RPG experience. I'm on year 3 of a City of Mist campaign that's pretty rules light. I'm on session 4 of a side game, Brindlewood Bay, aka Golden Girls vs. Cthulhu, and in both of those games, we barely ever rolled dice. But I love playing them. What I'm saying is, I think narrative and imagination play are absolutely where tabletop RPGs shine, and that's why I like to play them. But miniatures games are just so much better than tabletop RPGs for that tactical experience. I like to think that I play tabletop RPGs for what they're good for, and I play miniatures games for what they're good for. So where do you start? I know it can be intimidating. Us tabletop gamers, yes, the big group of us, board game, tabletop RPG, miniatures games, we tend to put a lot into our hobby, time, money, effort, creativity, and starting fresh can seem very daunting, but all of us are here to help you. Now is a better time than ever to start miniatures games. Just like tabletop RPGs underwent a renaissance and increased visibility in the last 10-year period, very recently 3D printing and a growing community have made wargaming a lot more visible and accessible as well. Like tabletop RPGs and Magic the Gathering and other tabletop games, wargaming has seen an increased interest since the pandemic, but now that the pandemic is dying down, in-person organized play is also ramping up. Step 1, pick a game. The golden rule in miniatures games is absolutely the rule of cool. If you think something looks cool and you gravitate towards it, trust that, because that feeling is going to carry you through your hobby journey and through learning the game. So, which games? If you are looking for the biggest community possible, that absolutely is Warhammer 40,000 or 40K. You might have seen Henry Cavill advocating for it. If you already think that 40K looks cool, then you are well on your way to a happy hobby. Plenty of other YouTube channels and videos cover 40K already, so if you decide to go that way, you have a lot of resources. However, here at Corner Case, I'm a huge proponent for a diversity of games. I'm a proponent and an advocate for an educated tabletop gamer. And absolutely, my favorite games are Malifaux and Infinity, and I don't think you could go wrong choosing either one of those. Or both. Infinity is set in a glossy, far future, high sci-fi world, rife with political intrigue and a war with aliens. Infinity is a low model count game, and some people like to say, or very many people like to say, it plays like an action movie. The Infinity community is a very active, competitive scene, both over the board and online on Tabletop Simulator. The Discord community is super active and helpful, and if you like sci-fi models, these models are some of the best on the market. If you were thinking of trying systems like Shadowrun or Cyberpunk, why not give this deeply tactical, high-polish, sci-fi skirmish game a chance instead? If you want to know more about the world of Infinity, you can check out more of my videos, or you can check out friend of the channel Warlore, link below. Malifaux is probably the most eclectic melting pot of genres that you will ever encounter in your gaming experience. It is an alternate history, weird western, horror, steampunk, low fantasy game. At the turn of the century, people discover a portal or a breach to another world. In this world exists magic and a powerful resource called soul stones. Different factions vie for control of those soul stones and magic on both sides of the breach. Malifaux has a really awesome, creative, and well-rounded community. Weird Games has done an awesome job putting systems in place to maintain the competitive health of the game, but at the same time, Weird also spends a lot of resources proactively supporting Through the Breach, which is the tabletop RPG version of the game. Malifaux has a really unique game design using cards instead of dice and focusing on objectives play. Whether you want a competitive experience or a narrative experience, or even like a little casual with multiplayer, the unique game design really is conducive for any type of play you might be into. If you are thinking of playing systems like Call of Cthulhu, or playing in some steampunk setting, or want something unique, why don't you try Malifaux instead? For more information about Malifaux, we have a lot of great videos on our channel, or you can check friends of the channel, Defective Dice, for all of your lore juice needs, or for detailed how to play, Malifaux University, link below. Step 2, find people. Here's 2 ways. First, you can look around for a local game store. You can ask your local game store about the game you want to play. Chances are employees and people there know where and when game groups meet, or know local people who play the game that you like. In my local area, each store also has its own Discord server, so that's also an added convenience. Which brings me to my second way to find people, which is joining the online community for the game that you want to play. Generally, all these communities are on Discord. Reddit is not as active for miniatures games except for Warhammer. So generally speaking, you're going to want to be on Discord for these communities. Infinity the Game and Weird Games, the maker of Malifaux, both have really active Discord communities chock full of people ready to ramp you up into our hobby. And as an added bonus, you can generally find people in your local area to play with, and if you need to play online, it's also a good way to find people to play with online. So I hope you're considering playing miniatures games now. While miniatures games are cut from the same cloth as tabletop RPGs, they are just so distinctly different and fun, and there's no reason you shouldn't play both. So if you have suspended your D&D Beyond subscription and you're riding out until next quarter, like Professor Dungeon Master said so, then why don't you give miniature games a try, because it's such a great hobby for everybody. Thank you for watching, and as always, please like and subscribe, do the YouTube things, join our Discord, join our Patreon. Thank you to anyone on Discord and Patreon. Comments are always appreciated. See you next time.
I am ready to subscribe again.